Hey, Michael Smith here with the Bluefield Group at Keller Williams, and I'm joined by Nathan Roberts at Prime Lending, and we're going to talk about a unique program they have to help you mitigate the risk of rising interest rates. All right, Nathan, so it's been an absolute crazy couple months, right towards the end of the year.
Very
interest
crazy.
rates have been trending up. The Fed has been making all kinds of decisions.
Yep.
Rates are about a point higher than they were this
About
time
a point
last year.
higher than this time last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the forecast is for rates to continue going up over the next 12 months. Is that
Correct.
right?
That's right.
Okay. And so if you've been paying attention, rates are actually down a little bit
Last few weeks have been good to us.
past couple weeks, right? So that could just be a short-term blip in what is otherwise still an upward trend, right?
Right. We think, we're taking everything we can get at this point. So when rates come down a little bit, now's a great time to buy. Rates are a little bit lower now than they were this time last month. Great time to start looking. That can change in a day. Anything can change in a day. So take what you've been given. If you're interested in buying, now's a great time with the rates. However, we do think that they're probably going to go back up.
Right. So
Yeah.
markets are volatile, right? One tweet can change
Anything.
anything. So everyone's talking about rates going up, and we want to look at ways that we can mitigate that risk, right? So if I'm looking for a home, under normal circumstances with most companies, I have to wait until I actually get a home under contract.
Correct.
Before I can lock in that interest rate.
That's correct.
Correct. So if rates are trending upward and I want to find a home within the next couple months, but I don't have one identified yet,
Right.
what types of options do you have for us?
So we've got kind of a unique program at Prime Lending. It's called the Lock and Shop. So what we can do is we can go ahead and take your application, get all of our numbers figured out, figure out what your range is, and get you approved. And then what we can do is we can go ahead and pull the trigger and lock your rate in without finding an actual house. So we can do that, and it'll let you shop for 45 days.
Okay.
So a month and a half.
So I'm out looking at houses right now. I haven't identified one yet, but I know there's a pretty darn good chance I'm going to find one within the next 45 days. you said,
45
right?
days,
Okay.
let's say.
So I go ahead and ask you to lock in my rate.
Correct.
Okay. What do you need from me in order to do that? Do I have to get you all my paperwork before you can click the button, or?
Obviously, we would like to have that. It makes the
Right.
transaction smoother, makes your approval smoother. I can go ahead and have you pre-underwritten while you're shopping.
Okay.
That would be the beneficial way to go. So we have everything.
Okay.
I would like to get you into underwriting. So yes, the answer is yes. I would like to have everything that you have: your financials, your assets, your income documents, credit pulled, obviously all that kind of stuff. So we want to get everything done.
So this does two things. It's a TBD underwrite.
Right,
Where you're
correct.
collecting documents and getting an actual underwriting approval ahead of time.
That's right.
Which you can do anyway, but you're combining that with the lock and shop program, and we go ahead and lock in the interest rate.
That's exactly right.
So what happens if we do this lock and shop program, 45 days have passed and I haven't found a house yet?
That's okay. We can do extensions on that.
Okay.
Okay, so we can do 15, 20, one-day extensions. If you think you're going to find a house and it's Friday and your rate expires and you think you'll be under contract on Monday, just communicate with us. Let us know. We can extend it for that couple of days until you're under contract, and then we can move on from there.
So there's some flexibility.
There's some flexibility there.
Okay.
But honestly, the best flexibility here is, let's say it takes you 45 days to find a house, and then it's going to take you 30 days to close. You're locked in at a certain rate. Let's just say rates go down in between that time.
Right.
And let's just say 20 days out from closing, rates are 0.25%, 3/8% lower than when you locked.
Okay.
Guess what else we have? A float down.
Float down option.
Float down. So we can actually reduce your interest rate further than where you were when we initially locked in.
So this is the best of both worlds.
Correct.
Right? I lock in at today's interest rate and I completely remove the risk of rates going up between now and closing.
Right.
But also if rates go down,
You get the benefit.
we get the benefit of a lower rate.
Correct.
So Nathan, why would someone choose not to do this?
The only reason I can think of is if they're picky buyers.
Okay.
Honestly, if you're a picky buyer and you don't know that if you can find a house in the next 45 days, if you're looking for, you know how it is. Sometimes you'll find a laundry list of items that people have to have, and those
Yep.
certain properties are just not as prevalent maybe
Right.
in the upstate, right?
Okay.
If it's something like that, that might not be the program. However, if it's something that after initial conversation with you guys, you're like, yeah, this is something we could definitely find the next 45 days. That type of scenario it works.
Okay, so if we feel relatively confident that we can find something that's a good fit for the buyer
Correct.
within the inventory that's out there.
That's right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so Nathan, what type of loan programs can we use the lock and shop with?
Great question. So conventional FHA and VA are the three programs we can do the lock and shop with.
Okay.
So that does exclude USDA and jumbo loans.
Gotcha. Okay, so if I want to do this lock and shop where I lock in my rate today, I've got 45 days to find a house, conventional, FHA, or VA.
Correct.
Okay, and what about the float down? Are there any limitations there?
So the float down we can use on all three of those with the lock and shop. The USDA loan we have to lock once you're under contract, and then we also will add a float down option onto the USDA as well. So
Okay.
we can do that. The jumbos don't have the lock and shop or the float downs.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. Also, just as a bonus, if you guys have made it through the end of this video, we want to let you know about a really cool incentive that we're going to offer. So if you reach out to us and mention this video, and if you use us to buy a home in 2019, we're going to help you save $1,000 out of pocket on your closing costs. So if you work with an agent from the Bluefield Group, we're going to cover $500 of your closing costs. And if you finance through Nathan at Prime Lending, he's going to cover $500 of your closing costs. So if you want to buy a home in 2019 and you want to save $1,000 while doing it, give us a call.